always manifest things the way that you thought you would.
That's right. Things just naturally happen right towards you. So there you go.
This is a good lesson.
Perfect and lovely. Hello, hello, everybody.
Hello, good morning.
Happy Thursday. All right, here we are. That's so funny.
Oh my gosh.
Manifesting things. This has been a 7-week series so far that we've done. This is week 14. So she is 14 weeks pregnant.
Good morning.
Good morning, Angel. Good morning. Good morning, Erica, Peggy, Shane, Edgar, everybody in here. Good morning, Jess. We love you all. Awesome. So, yep, in the last 7 weeks, we've talked about manifesting, gone over a lot of that stuff, and just pushing forward towards that, changing some of our mindset beliefs and aligning towards our futures. So here we are. This is a fun one. Always, I love capping these off with some actual decent amount of time that we can have some Q&A, take some of your questions and do some coaching for you guys. Some actual stories that you guys might have, things that you're pushing through right now, goals that you're yearning to attract towards you a little bit faster. Let's manifest those things. So, all right. Yeah.
Do you want to introduce yourself, babe?
Oh, okay. So yeah,
that haven't watched this.
Anyone who's new, if you haven't been on this yet, my name is Zach Hoyt. I'm a real estate investor, been doing it for a while. This is my fiance, Monique, soon to be Monique Hoyt. But for now, Monique Hayes, the amazing.
Yeah.
Middle name.
Energy healer, intuitive development coach. And today I want to, if you guys have any questions or anything about what we've talked about over the last few weeks, or just anything that's going on in your life. Like if you're stuck in a pattern, if you're stuck in just a situation, you don't have clarity, you feel confused about how to move forward. If anything is coming up, please raise your hand or put it in the comment box, because we'll of course recap. So we will address that today, because I love to do some coaching. Zach loves to do some coaching. And what I like to do is, if you ask questions, I'll tune into your energy. We'll see how the energy of the group is corresponding to the question and give feedback through there. So yeah. So if you have questions, you can either raise your hand or you can put them in the comment box and we will get to them. And then also I want to talk about how to energetically hold the vision of where you are, what you are creating, where you're moving into. I'll talk about that in between, because last week we went over Zach's manifestation matrix that he made and how the tool that he created can help you just stay in alignment with your vision and your why, which is what we talked about in the weeks prior. And so last week was just really going over his manifestation matrix and what it's all about and how you can use it to, why it's important to start every day with intention, right? So why it's important to really move into your day with, how do I want to show up today? And intentionally stepping into the version of you that you want to be. So whether that's more abundance, more in love, healthier, whatever it might be, it doesn't matter, you guys. Energetics is the same across the board. So if I'm talking about abundance, but you want love, or I'm talking about love, but you want health, or whatever it is, just insert said topic into my mouth and just use that. And so whatever it is, we're either in alignment with it or we're outside of it. And so using Zach's manifestation matrix, we talked about how we can prioritize the things that we need to do each day, but more importantly, how we want to feel each day, the things that we want to think about each day, and then the tasks that we're going to tackle each day. And so if you didn't download the manifestation matrix, highly recommend doing that, because it just helps to organize your thoughts, keeping your thoughts intentional. Shane was saying how he laminated his so he can just write on his with a marker and then clear it off each week, so you're not going through a bunch of papers every single week. That was a great idea. And so it's just something that it's just a tool that you can use. There's so many tools. So just find the one that works for you. But this is a tool that you can use to really just be intentional about your day, align your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions with that goal that you're moving towards, whether it be financial, whether it be personal, professional.
Yeah, allows it to change week to
Mhm.
week. Happy morning, happy night, happy middle of the day, keeping your why right in the center, because those are the things that drive us.
Mhm.
And have a wonderful sleep. Get excited to have that sleep and wake up energized for the very next day.
Mhm.
And it just adds a lot more happiness in your life. I mean, and who
Yes.
the heck doesn't want more happiness
Yes.
in their life? My
Because
gosh.
ultimately, remember, like, that's why we want the things that we want, is because we think that when we have those things, we're going to feel a certain way. Well, we can hack the system by feeling that way now,
That's
by
part of the
practicing
trick.
to feeling that way now. Yes, that's part
Feeling
of the
those
manifestation
emotions.
trick.
Mhm.
I have a feeling that we're going to talk more about that today with some of your guys' questions. So let's go ahead. Peggy, go ahead. You can unmute yourself and ask. And then I see Angel, you've written a question, so we'll get to that. And anybody else that has anything.
Yeah, awesome.
Hey, good morning. Thank you.
Good morning.
Good
So
morning.
I've had this this stuck feeling for a while. And I've been working on like writing down the goals and trying to think of things, but I feel like it's really weird because I feel like there's a block. And I feel like I should be a lot more successful than I am right now. And other people's perceptions, like they think I'm really successful, and it's like, no.
Mhm.
But I haven't putting myself out there. There's just something. I know I have a money block. I know I have one of those for sure because I grew up in poverty, and even as a young adult was, very, very poor. But
Mhm.
something's going on, like something, and I can't find it. I can't see it, because if I could shed a light on it or shine a light on it, then I would probably fix it.
Yeah,
Everything's been coaching
absolutely.
right now, and I'm just lost. So
Mhm. Yeah, thank you for sharing. Do
Awesome.
you care if I start this one?
No,
Okay.
she's amazing, by the way, guys. So yeah, please take advantage of her with all of this. A lot of the times you can't even see your own problems, just that
Yeah.
like you're talking about, right? And you ever have a friend where you can look at them, what's going on in their life, like, hey, I can solve that so easily for you, yet I'm a mess at the end of the day.
Mhm.
So that's why she's wonderful at what she does, at being able to diagnose people in that way, to pick them apart. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking so you can get your answers.
Okay. So first off, we are our own worst critic. That rarely changes, regardless of how successful you are. But what's coming up, and I feel like this will resonate with a few of you, is that there's a couple things. So I'm feeling some stipulations around success. So maybe success has to look a certain way in order for you to believe that you're successful. And therefore, if it doesn't look that way, that you've daydreamed it looking that way, you don't deem yourself successful. But what is your definition of success? So that would be the first thing I would get clear on, is what your definition of success is. Because if you don't know, and it might be a financial number, it might be a certain amount of deals, it might be whatever, but then where are the markers along that journey that you're celebrating? Because if you're not celebrating that, then you're not ever getting in the energy of your success, right? So then you're just seeing how much further you have to work, and therefore you're like, I'm still not there. And as long as you're saying I'm still not there, you're creating that energy of separation in your field from your goal. So your goal's still going to feel so far away. And so it's like, it doesn't matter how much progress you make, you're not going to see the progress. You're going to focus on the separation from you and that goal. So I would, get clear on, where were you when you decided that you wanted this goal to be successful? And what was that idea? Like, I know for me, when I first started my business, I'm like, I envisioned $4,000 in my bank account from my business when I was first starting. And then when I got that, I still felt unsuccessful. And I'm like, I'm not doing anything. I'm not growing. I'm not doing anything. And I'm like, when I started this business, I had $200 in my bank account. Like, yes, I'm going somewhere. There's still progress. So it's really about celebrating those milestones, because you're leap years ahead of someone who's not there yet. So really being able to see yourself from that, you can see yourself as being unsuccessful still, or being more successful than you were. It's the same. You're looking from the same mountaintop, but you're choosing to look on either one side of the mountain or the other side of the mountain, right? But you're in the same position. So that's the first thing that was coming up for you. And then there was another thing you were saying, doing all the things, not feeling super successful. Other people are telling you that you're successful. Oh, some limiting beliefs, feeling stuck. Yeah. So the stuckness that I feel for you is, and probably for a lot of people, feels like fear of taking some action. So I feel like you have an idea of steps to take, but there's this logical part of you that's talking you out of some certain steps because it might not make perfect sense. A lot of the times when we're saying, I don't know what's next, I don't know what to do, we actually do know. And I know that that is so annoying to hear, but it's the truth. We actually do know, but there's a very loud part in our mind that's saying what we feel to be true and what we think we need to do are two different things. And that's not the truth, because what we feel to be true is what we need to do. And that might be taking this random action that doesn't quite make sense, or it might be putting yourself in a little bit of debt, or it might be aligning with a partner that you never thought that you'd work with, or leaving a partner that you were working with. And this is where it comes into self-trust. And so many of us don't know how to trust ourselves because we've never been taught how to trust ourselves. And so you have to make a decision and see where that takes you and see how that feels, and prove to yourself that it's safe for you to decide. It's safe for you to make a decision. And I would recommend doing this in other areas of your life. Make a decision to wear this color shirt, make a decision to go to this place for dinner, make a decision to go on this walk, make a decision to drink this instead of that, make a decision to eat this instead of that, and just stick with it and prove to yourself, I can make good decisions for myself. Because ultimately that stuckness that I see in a lot of people, it comes up as this fear of making the wrong decision, of being wrong. So we paralyze ourselves because we'd rather stay where we're at, because on some level we know that we can operate where we're at, even though we might not be happy here. We know we're surviving. And remember, that's the unconscious mind's goal, is to help us survive. As long as we're alive, we're good. It's doing its job. But we don't want to survive. We want to thrive. And so we have to shift out of that frequency of survival, which is in this like, I have my needs met. So if I have my needs met and I know I want more, now I have to shift into trusting myself to make moves, trusting myself to decide, trusting myself that I know what's best for me right now at this time, and trusting that that's probably going to change. And that's totally fine. It doesn't I don't always have to take the same action over and over again. And so when we feel that stuckness of, I don't really know what to do next, I'm going to challenge you and say, actually, if you want to answer this right now, like, what's something that you, like, if there was a part of you that did know what to do, what would that part say right now? Even if it doesn't make sense to your conscious mind.
Yeah. So part of it is, I had trusted myself to make some pretty big decisions, and I felt like those decisions were failures. That I wasn't actually. I think you commented on my post where I said I wasn't listening to my gut. I wasn't listening to it. I was listening to what I thought would get me more successful faster. And success in my mind is making a lot of money.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I made those decisions based on that, and then they were not the right decisions. And so now I'm going through this, like, okay, great, I can't trust myself to make a good decision. And so now I have all this doubt, and it's like caused me to not want to move forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that. Thank you for sharing. And okay, everybody, we have to stop seeing ourselves as making the right decision or the wrong decision. Okay. There is no right or wrong decision. There's a decision that was made that led to an outcome, and you either learned something or you gained something. So it's always
I have goosebumps from that.
That's
it's such a different way of thinking about it, but it's absolutely true. Just understanding that these decisions that you make, they're all part of that process. That's why they have the whole book, Failing Forward, and doing all of that. There was a lesson to be learned there. And on the other side of that lesson, there is your future you, the better you, the more aligned, that you're getting clarity from that.
Yeah. So
even celebrating a bad decision, it can be a good thing.
Yeah. And we've all been there. We've all made really bad decisions.
Terrible.
Because we thought that if I act in this way that makes the most sense, of course I'm going to make money. Of course things are going to work out. Of course this is going to be like a quick fix for where I want to be, like a fast track to success. But the thing is unless we are also unconsciously, subconsciously on board, then we will always sabotage that. And so what happens is a lot of us will make those decisions from our logical mind of, well, yeah, if I want money fast, this is going to work. And we'll make decisions from that space. But one, tune into the energy of that space that you made the decision from. When you made the decision of, oh, I think this is going to work, or, oh, this has to work, or, oh, this is for sure going to get me money. Were you coming in from the energy of overflow, from the energy of trusting, or was it an energy, yeah, desperation, neediness, this has to work out, clinginess? So codependency on the result, right? So when we enter or we make a decision from that energy, we are always going to get that energy back, whether it's immediate return or a delayed outcome. We're always going to receive that energy back. So the good thing is as soon as we shift the energy that we make decisions from, so instead of just hurrying up and making a decision from that neediness, from that desperation, from that clinginess of clinging to the potential of the result, and we take a step back and we say, okay, but if this works out, this will be wonderful, and I'm good regardless.
And I've got other options that are out there.
There are so many other options out there. The universe has my back. Like, I'm going to pray on this. I'm going to just take a moment and just kind of step back. I'll ask for a sign and then see where that leads you. And then act. Feel the calmness in your body from that space.
When I ask that question of how many ways can I achieve this goal, as opposed to just like, this is the way, I've got to do this thing right here. So let me push on this button really hard, to changing that energy to how many ways, and then to see all the different ways. It's like, okay, if this way doesn't work out, I have 19 other ways that I can still achieve this goal. That's an abundance of goals. So I don't feel as desperate. It literally calms my nerves in that moment and moving forward towards it. It calms my nerves completely.
Because one thing that does rile a lot of us up is finances, because a lot of us came from childhoods where we weren't wealthy and we did struggle with money, and our parents did struggle with money. So there is a component of shifting your belief system around your financial belief system. So then it's also what call did we work on limiting beliefs? Was that the second call or the first call? Because I would recommend Peggy, go back and watch week 2 on my YouTube, and limiting beliefs, because when we have these limiting beliefs, we will unconsciously act from them. And that's where that desperation, that neediness comes in, because we probably saw our parents do that a lot. So it's not a bad thing. We have to stop making ourselves wrong or bad for the decisions that we've made. We made the decision that we thought was the best decision at that time. What did you learn from it? Like John was saying, failure only happens when you give up. You always learn. There's always something to learn. And sometimes we're led to make a decision, not for the outcome, but because of who we become, because of the decision that was made. And who you become because of the decision that was made, that might be the person that's preparing you for holding everything that you want, for expanding your capacity to be able to hold the partners and the money and the deals and the resources and the properties or whatever it might be. So when we look at, shit, why did I make that decision? I can't trust myself. I've proven myself over and over again. Yes, that can be true. Or is that the ultimate truth? Probably not. So if it's not the ultimate truth, there's another possibility. So it could be an or I made this decision so I could prove to myself the type of person that I needed to become in order to hold more wealth.
You're leaning into that person of the future. And if it's the first time you're doing something, this type of decision on something, it's no surprise that there's possibly a higher chance that it's going to fail, because it's newer, but that's okay. But now you took the action towards that thing. You're like, okay, now I just felt this pain a little bit, but how can I be better the next time? How am I better prepared for the next time? Lessons learned, even just jotting down lessons learned, but just those are some of your successes. Those are some of your gains that you've had. The whole gap versus the gain, Sullivan, that whole book that's in there, just celebrating that. It's like, okay, I failed like this and I've learned that lesson, and put that and tuck that away in your success jar for the year and say, okay, now I'm a little bit better for the next time. I'm not hardened and calloused from it. I'm just more aware.
Because if you've never failed, then you've never taken leaps, and you've never put yourself out there. You've never stretched your comfort zone. We're all bound to fail. But again, it's not about the result. It's about who you become because of the decision that was made. And you can either dwell on that decision and live in the past and rewrite the past over and over and over again, or you can choose to say, okay, what lessons did I learn from this? You learned, Peggy, not to listen to your head, but to listen to your intuition more. You learned that it's okay that even if you made a bad decision, you're still here. People still see you as successful.
Heck yeah.
So even if you made a quote unquote bad decision, then you're still doing fine. You're still good. And now you know it's safe to trust your intuition more, a little bit more, give it more credit than you were your logic mind. And so this could be a lesson for you, because maybe your intuition is what's going to lead you into more of an abundance relationship with the universe. And so it's just about really asking yourself, what did I learn from this experience? And then where are my fears holding me back from taking action? Are these fears ultimately true? They're not. And if they're not true, what would I like to be true instead? Because remember, it's only true if you believe it to be true. It's only true if you give it meaning of truth. You get to decide the meaning that you give things. There's always, always, always going to be multiple possibilities of what can be true or not. We get to choose. It's just we're really good at choosing the worst ones to believe are true. So I'll encourage you to then just focus on trusting your intuition. Ask your intuition. What I like to recommend people is like, go on intuitive walks. Just go on a walk and be like, do I want to go left or right? And just do it. Just trust yourself and just do it. Do I want to go this way or this way? Do I want to walk for 20 minutes or 30 minutes? And just do it and set an intention for, okay, what do I want by the end of this walk? I want more clarity. I want to feel better. I want to see a bluebird, whatever it might be. And then just ask yourself, all right, if I trusted that I'll be led to that, which way would I go? How long would I walk for? What neighborhood would I walk in? And that's a really good exercise to start building that self-trust so that you can tell yourself it's safe. I'm a safe place. I can make these decisions for myself, so that when it comes to making the bigger decision, you totally can. But ultimately, when you make a decision from fear, you're just feeding that fear, and fear is a very powerful energy. So we always want to acknowledge the fear, because that means that we're growing, we're expanding outside of our comfort zone, but the fear doesn't dictate us. And you're either giving your power away from fear, or you're giving your power to fear, or you're taking the power away from fear and using it as a fuel source for you. Okay.
Yeah. So it sounds like, overcoming some of those limiting beliefs that are in our minds. We all have them. We're all doing that constantly, right? That whole week 1 through 7, that's what we really were focused on, was those limiting beliefs, the affirmations, different ways that we can get over them, our ego, those fears that we have in our mind. And that's something we're going to end up coming back around to too, and just addressing all of those, because it permeates our soul. It's a human nature to have all of these things. No, it doesn't.
You expand into more, limiting beliefs pop up, fears pop up.
Yep.
Like, it doesn't mean that you haven't grown. It doesn't mean that you're a failure. It doesn't mean that you're unsuccessful, but you have to, like, my idea of success is buying organic foods. I really want to be able to go to the grocery store and buy organic foods without looking at the price tag. I really want to be able to travel whenever we want to travel without worrying about it. Like, that's my definition of success. But when we compare ourselves to people online, we see like, oh, they're buying luxury handbags, or they have 18 houses, or they live in this.
They're perfect and they don't make mistakes, because they don't show a lot of those mistakes.
It's not true. Everyone goes through the same limiting beliefs.
Yeah.
Because some people let those limiting beliefs define them, and some people use those limiting beliefs as proof or an example of, okay, this is where I get to grow. This is where I get to grow. This is where I get to expand. There is life on the other side of this belief, and I'm determined to get there. So it's just about reframing those beliefs so that they support you and they feel really good, and that you can use them to then start looking for that evidence in your reality. Like, Peggy, if people are telling you that you're successful, look for evidence that you're successful. and you still want to grow. So it doesn't have to be a bad thing. Like, I'm unsuccessful because I still want to grow. No, I'm successful and I still want to grow. And like, start visualizing where you want to go, the money that you want to see in your bank account, whatever it is that you want, so that you can start aligning to that energetically. And energetically aligning to that is just feeling into it, feeling how good it's going to feel when you're there. And then forming the belief system that supports that outcome, that supports that goal. Okay, we all have crappy beliefs. And yes, like Gabby was saying, limiting beliefs, they force us in desperation. It forces us to focus on the how. You guys, if you are hyper focused on the how, it's not going to happen, because the universe works in such miraculous ways. And there are infinite possibilities for how something will happen that you can't possibly fathom how it's going to happen. And if you're hyper focused on it happening one way, you're cutting off the door to all of the other possibilities of the ways that it could happen. So it could literally happen so randomly, like getting more money or having a deal come in or partnering with somebody else or finding love or having your body lose weight easily or build health more easily or releasing anxiety more easily. Like, when we hyper focus on the how, then we drive ourselves nuts, because we can't predict the how. We can't dictate how that's going to happen. We get to focus on who we're being and what we actually want. And then the how and the timetable, we get to release that. We can set intentions around, this is when I want it to happen. But if it doesn't happen, are you still holding faith? Or are you giving up faith when it actually matters? Do you hold faith when things are looking good? And then as soon as things look like they're not going to pan out, you drop faith, when actually that's when faith actually kicks in the 11th hour, when it doesn't look like it's going to happen. That's faith. That's when you double down and believe in yourself. That's when you say, this is going to happen. Even if it doesn't happen right now, I know that this is going to happen. You stay aligned to that, but you have to believe in yourself. You have to believe that it's possible. You have to believe that if you're focusing on the what if it doesn't work out, that you're also focusing on the what if it does.
Yeah. And just keep telling the universe that. And by the universe, everyone and everything, including yourself, everyone around you, God, if you're praying to God, everyone, tell them that. Tell them all that that's who you are. That's what you're doing right now. And that way you're putting all that energy out there so people can identify with that as well. And they'll naturally be drawn right towards you. They'll help you achieve the goal. God will help you achieve that goal. You will help you achieve that goal, because you're telling all of those people, come give it to me. This is exactly what I want. And so when those things happen and people come towards you and things show up exactly how you want them in your life, acknowledge them and be like, wow, yes, this is exactly what I was hoping. And I didn't expect it. And it came from this side street, and it came right to my front door, and it's right here. And that's where you have to hold on to those successes. And we went through something in the beginning, the first 7 weeks, where it was just holding on to those successes, acknowledging those things so that we can remember them, because we're so quick to forget the good things and so strong to remember the bad ones. So let go of the bad ones and know that they're not in alignment with where we want to be and where we even are. They're not in alignment with where we are right now. They're just something that happened. That's it. Something that happened. So that bad thing is something that happened, but that's not what I'm acknowledging. I'm just, that's just something that happened, but I'm going to acknowledge that good thing that happened in my life.
And Angel's question, I'm going to get to next, because this will also feed into Angel's question. You have to accept where you're at. If you're not accepting where you currently are, and you're just feeling frustrated about, I'm not there yet, I'm not an XYZ goal yet, and you're just feeling that frustration, you will never get to that goal, because you're focusing on the frustration of not being there yet. So therefore, the energy that you're embodying is not being there yet. And not only that, on an energetic level, you're separating yourself from it, but on your nervous system, you're just bringing in so much stress into your nervous system of focusing on not being there yet and the frustration around it. And when your nervous system is in a stress response, you're going to take different action than if it's more relaxed and if it's regulated. So you have to understand that and not beat yourself up for the action that you've taken when you were in a stress response. Instead, see yourself through a lens of compassion. I did what I thought I needed to do at that time because I thought I needed to survive on a very biological level, on a primal level. You were doing what you needed to do in order to survive. So we have to show compassion to that version of us. Now you've survived, right? We've survived the tiger. So now it's about coming to this space of, okay, now accepting this is where I'm at. Like if we were back in our primal days and we came back and our camp was totally ruined and it was just like totally ravaged through, we wouldn't be like, oh my gosh, what the heck, and sit there and dwell on it. We'd be like, all right, we got to get to work. Like, it is what it is. Now we got to get to work. This is the same thing. We are very primal, and like our brain is still very primal. And so we have to understand that we have this very ancient organ that we're working with, as well as with our energy field. And we can use the two together to create a wonderful life. But we have to understand that when we're focused on the frustration, we're staying in that stress response, and we are literally in a state of freeze. We're not going to take any action, any productive action to move forward. But when we can just accept, okay, it is what it is. Okay, I'm overweight. Okay, I'm not as wealthy as I want to be. Okay, this hasn't worked out. Okay, what I've been doing is not giving me the results that I want. Okay, I feel like I'm struggling. Okay, I'm here. I'm here. Now let me relax, because I've been here for a while. It's just I've been refusing to admit it to myself. But when I actually admit to myself, this is where I'm at. This is what's actually happening in my reality. Now I have the power to change it, because you can't change what you don't know. And if you are in disbelief of where you're currently at, you're not going to be able to change it, because you're not aware of what needs changed. So we have to just accept where we're at and accept that this is what it is. And this does not mean that I'm going to sit in inaction. In fact, it's the opposite. It means now I know where my starting point is. Now I can act. Now I can move forward, because this is so good with financial or health goals, because Angel, your questions about health, like mental and physical health and not feeling comfortable in your own skin. Ultimately, every single relationship that we have with money, with other people, with our jobs, with partners, with our health, with food, with everything in the world, with everything in the universe, that every relationship that we have, it is a reflection of the relationship that we have with ourself. And when we have this relationship with ourself, then that really dictates how we show up in the other relationships. So I guarantee that if you are someone that is struggling in a relationship with money or with your health or with other people, that you are struggling with a relationship with your body, just like you and your body. And so when it comes on some level, like you're being very hard on yourself, your self-talk is not that great. You don't really believe in yourself. You don't like what you see when you look in the mirror. You don't feel comfortable in your own skin. You think that you should be further along than what you are, whatever the belief is, that's probably what's going on. So what we have to do is, one, accept you are where you are and it is what it is. And then from there, begin to take action. So if I am here, what's the next step? I want to feel better. So what can I do to help me feel better? Pick something small. And that's like where his manifestation matrix can come in. Pick something small and start moving towards that. Maybe it's focusing on one new affirmation a day or one new belief. Maybe it's going on a 5-minute walk in the morning. Maybe it's just wearing clothes that feel really good on your body, because the better you feel, the better you show up in your life. Maybe it's just sitting with yourself and asking, what do I need today? Because you've never actually asked yourself that question. But if you are struggling mentally and physically, there's this feeling of stuckness there. And you're feeling stuck because you're not fully connected to you. You're not fully connected to where you're at. And instead of seeing your body as a partner, you're seeing it as a project. And it's a project that you're getting frustrated with because it's not turning out how you thought that it would be by now. We're all really good. This is something Peggy said too. We're all really good at putting timetables on things. Well, I think I should be successful by now. I thought that I would lose the weight by now. I thought that I'd have this money saved by now. Our mind works in very linear time. Our body does not. The universe does not. The body works in like a cyclical time of how you feel. It's either spiraling up or it's spiraling down, but it's not linear. And the same as the universe, spiraling up or it's spiraling down. We're never staying the same.
That feels right.
Yeah.
Like, right. Like that, like you've got real good days, real good weeks. It's like, ooh, or real terrible days and then real terrible weeks. Right. Yeah. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. And so, yeah, that's why we try to make just little changes because it will get you on that spiral. It won't be linear. It'll take you the trajectory right upwards. And that way it also combats any little downward spiral, any little momentum that might be pulling you down. It helps combat that. So take those positive actions towards whatever that is in your life.
You have to release the timetable. You have to release not the timetable. Let me reframe the disappointment around the timetable. We will do things. We as a species fear disappointment so much that we will do anything to not have to feel disappointment. We will self-sabotage. We won't take action. We will listen to our logic mind over our intuition. We will hang out with the wrong crowd because we fear that if we actually step into our full potential and we don't live up to our own standards, we will disappoint ourselves and we will feel that disappointment. So we would rather feel the shame, the guilt, the embarrassment of not moving forward, the stuckness of not moving forward, than the disappointment of taking action and it not working out.
I laugh and I smile because it resonates with me. I'm laughing at myself inside, playing along with the words that Monique is saying and sharing with us because, yeah, it's absolutely true. I've seen that in myself in the past. And you know, I feel those things come up when I just want a little bit of happy dopamine to make me feel better, but I'll self-sabotage and I'll do some other stupid little task that'll make me feel better in the moment. But I know even before I start that task that I shouldn't be doing it. I should be doing this other thing. And I'm not doing that other thing just because what if that other thing doesn't come true? Because then that's a worse sadness that I'll have. And then what do I do from that space?
Yeah, because we're really good at feeling frustrated. We're really good at feeling stuck. We're really good at feeling annoyed with ourselves and feeling guilty for not doing what we think we should be doing. But we're not great at feeling disappointment. And so now that you know this, you know that it's just that fear of disappointment that prevents us from moving forward towards the goals that we want. So then we have to be able to take a step back and ask, okay, what is the worst case scenario? If this really didn't work out, would it be all that bad?
Is that what we should ask in those moments where we have some self-reflection where I'm like, I know I shouldn't be doing this task here. I should be doing this other task.
Yeah. You can ask yourself, one, we want to acknowledge the fear. So ask yourself, like, what is holding me back? Like, what do I fear will happen if I either take this action and it does work out, or I take this action and it doesn't work out? Because sometimes we fear the good result because of what can happen because of that. Like, for an example, Angel, you not feeling comfortable in your own skin. Sometimes that will prevent us from losing weight and from getting healthier because of the attention we might receive if we don't feel safe in our own body. And we might sabotage ourselves from making money because of who we think we'll become when we make the money, or because we think our family will start coming out of the woodwork and want some, or friends will start coming out of the woodwork and want some, or we'll feel this pressure to behave in a certain way. So sometimes it's the fear of having what we want that prevents us from getting it. Sometimes it's the fear of disappointment from not having what we want that prevents us from taking the action. So you first have to get clear as to what is this fear? Like, what do I fear will happen if I do get it? What do I fear will happen if I don't get it? And then again, we always come back to this question. We ask ourselves, is that the ultimate truth? No, it's never the ultimate truth. How do we know this? Because it feels like shit when we think about it. And if it feels like shit when we think about it, we know it's not our ultimate truth. So then we can reframe that as, what do I want to be true then? If I got this and it did work out, how would this feel safer? Or if it didn't work out, what could I learn from this? How could I re-navigate this? So it's really just you becoming comfortable with getting on the other side of this goal, because we're all really comfortable at feeling frustrated from not moving forward in our goals. So you have to ask, am I going to be okay feeling uncomfortable sitting here in the stuckness, or feeling uncomfortable taking the action? Because you're going to feel uncomfortable either way. And releasing that timetable. When your mind starts putting a time frame on it, we have to say, like, as long as I'm taking action, it's going to happen. You guys, it has to happen energetically. If you are taking action towards something and you're holding the vision, you're holding the energy of it happening, you're tuning into the feelings of it happening, you're seeing it happening in your mind's eye, you're telling people, this is happening for me. I believe in myself. Your self-belief is greater than your self-doubt. It has to happen. This is a law. It's a law of reciprocity, the law of reciprocity in the universe. It has to happen. What you put out has to return back to you. So it's not a question as to whether you will succeed or fail. It's just a question as to when, and when is decided by you and your amount of belief in yourself versus the amount of doubt that you have.
When, yeah, that's wonderful. Because we've all tried new things in our life. Right? We start out as little babies and then we learn all these different things. Maybe we want to play a sport. We've never done that before, but we learn how to do that. Just like we get into business and then we start to do that. We get a career. Maybe we are getting into real estate. I would advise you to do that perhaps. And things like that. And you get your first deal. You get your first house that you're owning yourself. Then that's that first step in all of that. But before that, you're like, well, I thought this might happen. I'm taking the energy and the steps towards that. And eventually you get that. Holy smokes. And then it's like, what's the next thing that I want to achieve? All you have to do is keep putting your energy towards that. Surround yourself by other people that are supporting you in that and that help encourage you in the ups and the downs, all of those things, and you'll get there.
And if you have a critical self voice, ask, whose voice is this? Is it even mine? Or is it my dad's? Is it my mom's? Is it my third grade teacher's? Because if it's not yours, then it's not a thought that belongs in your head. And you can reframe that voice. Because I know a couple of you guys commented about like that self-critical voice or your self-talk and how it can be negative. Is that even you? I know my negative self-talk is not me. It's my dad when I was a kid, because he didn't feel comfortable with where he was at in life and he projected that a lot. So I've had to do a lot of healing around that. But a lot of times that self-critical voice, it's not even you. So ask, who is this? Whose voice is this? You will get an answer. And then from there, ask, okay, do I still want this voice in my head? No, because once you label it, then you can start saying, oh, it's my dad again. Like, okay, dad, shut up. Like, I'm not going to listen to you. Or I'll tell him, like, I'm having these thoughts because of this thing that happened when I was a kid. And he'll be like, okay, like, let's sit down. Let's talk about that. So you could talk about it with someone else. You could write it out in your journal, but get rid of the critical voice because it's not you. You would never talk to yourself that way. You've learned to talk to yourself that way because of how other people have talked to you or how you have witnessed other people talking to themselves, which then they learned how to do that. So keep that in mind. Yeah. Be careful. Be careful. You don't want to do that. Be careful. It's a little risky. Be careful. Don't do that. So people will often, they will tell us be careful because they care about us, but it's because through their lens, they didn't go after what they wanted. They didn't do what they wanted because they saw the dangers the risks outweighed the benefits. But anybody who has any type of wealth or success, we all know it takes risk. And that the risks often turn into benefits, right? So that's just like that reframing of what is careful for you. Is it more careful to stay in the space that you're in and never have the wealth that you want, the success that you want? Or is it more careful for you to move towards that goal? To me, it's really freaking dangerous to stay complacent and to stay in the space of not going for my goals, to just getting by, to just having my needs met. That feels more dangerous than moving towards my goals.
Isn't
than to
that curious?
More self-employed.
When you frame it like that, the same phrase can be twisted on both sides of the equation, but it's just how we interpret that.
Yeah, it's the meaning that we give it. Nothing has meaning until we give it meaning.
And we created all these words. Humans created all these words. And so we can create in our own mind how we perceive that word, what we do with that word, what that word means to you at the end of the day.
Yes. And if there was a saying like that you heard, like Julie saying, be careful. If there was a saying that you heard, reframe the saying. Like I said, like, what is more careful for you? What is more dangerous, to stay where you're at or to keep growing? For any entrepreneur, it's going to be more dangerous to stay where you're at. We always want to grow because the more that we grow, the more income we have, the more money we have, the more impact we can have. Right. And so if there is that stuckness around creating money, make it mean something. Make it mean something. The more money that you have, the more income that you have, the more freedom that you have, the more you can donate to charities, the more you can donate your time, the more you can volunteer, the more you can put money away for savings account for your kids, for your grandkids, for yourself, for your spouse, the more you can take care of medical bills, the more you can buy healthy food, the more, like, make it mean something. If you have this fear around you making money because it might make you a bad person, which a lot of us do, make it mean something else. We have to attach it to service then. What more can you do with more money? What more can you do? And then focus on that. Focus on the feeling of that, and then trust the how will work itself out. And then when you come up to a bump with the how of, okay, well, I need to invest in this, or well, I need to take this action. Okay, I'm feeling some fear around that. That's when we go back and we do the limiting belief work. Is this the ultimate truth? No. What do I want to be true? This. The work never changes, you guys. It just evolves as we continue to evolve. And it's the same with our health, with our finances, with our relationships. It's all the same. It's just clearing out the crappy beliefs and bringing in better ones. And then looking for evidence in our reality that support that, so we can build our self-belief and feeling safe stepping into this new reality, feeling safe moving into that. Does that make sense? What comments or questions do you guys have? Let me know.
And while people are waiting to put something in, I'll just interject. So, okay, maybe I'm feeling stuck in general in some way. How do I identify where to even start? Whether it's my business, whether it's my health, whether it's my mindset around those, whether it's, what I'm eating. Should I be working out more? Should I wake up more earlier? Should I schedule my time? Like, where do I even start? Or even to identify where some of my blocks are. Should I identify blocks in my head first? Like, what are some initial steps? Because I'm just feeling low, and I'm feeling like there's this wall in front of me, and I can bash my head against it, or I can try and climb over it. But if I try to climb over it, the wall keeps getting bigger and bigger. And if I try to break through it, it feels like it just keeps getting thicker and thicker. So where the heck do I start? Because that would be insane for me to continually try to climb over this ever increasing thing, break through this thing. Where can I just start?
Yeah.
To just feel some clarity today, to feel like, okay, now I have a path. Because I know that, man, if I can have a path prescribed for me at the end of the day, and I know this is what you do with a lot of your clients, but where can I find that to get me there? Like, where do I start?
Okay, good question, Dave. Yeah, so where you're feeling stuck. So if you're just feeling stuck in general, then I want to tune into this. So if you're just feeling stuck in general, then I would get clear around what is that feeling associated with being stuck. So do you just feel like, I'm feeling stuck in life? I don't know how to move forward. Is it that you don't know how to move forward with your body, with relationships, with everything? Is it just everything, or generalness of everything?
Okay, so I'm sure I could find one thing in everything in my life.
If you're feeling stuck in general, that feeling is going to come in with some beliefs. So I would recommend writing down, getting a piece of paper and writing down all the beliefs that are coming up around this feeling of feeling stuck.
So just
Maybe
put that at the top. Why am I feeling stuck? What comes up when I feel stuck?
Yeah.
Feeling stuck.
The beliefs that come up with feeling stuck, just put feeling stuck and then write down all the beliefs. So maybe it's just, I'm not good enough. Like, why am I even here? What am I doing? I don't know, like, how to move forward. I don't know what I want. I can't even have what I want, even if I did know. So you're going to get all of these beliefs, right? That are associated with this feeling of stuckness.
It'll flush them out. So do this exercise for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Sit down.
You can set a timer, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, and just literally keep writing until you're saying, like, I don't know what else. And then be like, what if I did know what else?
What if I did know what else? What if I had to come up with 5 more?
Flush out as many of these beliefs that are associated with this feeling as you can. Because remember, we think a thought and it's associated with the feeling creates a new thought, the thought creates a feeling. And so the thinking and feeling cycle continues.
And so it usually takes a little bit of time for me to really dive down deep, because I'm getting into my subconscious. That's why I say just ask yourself, what are 5 more? Or like go for a specific timer on things. I would say 20 minutes. And the first ones will be easy and the last ones will be slower. But all of a sudden you'll hit one, you'll be like, oh yeah, of course. Why didn't I think of that one? I'm thinking about that all the time, yet my brain is preventing me from thinking about it right in the moment, or I'm trying to not fix myself, but trying to identify things that are blocking me, that are in my way.
And this is an exercise I would actually recommend. Like if you guys are watching this, whether you're watching the replay or you're here live, actually take time and do this. So where you're feeling stuck, if you just have a general feeling or if it's an area, write down all the beliefs that are coming in with that. If you are feeling stuck in multiple areas of your life, chances are they are connected through some core beliefs. Okay. So I just want you to know, because everything is an extension of the relationship that you have with yourself. It's all going to be connected. So it might feel very unconnected. It might feel very discombobulated. It might feel very overwhelming. I guarantee there are a couple core beliefs that are creating this reality of feeling stuck. Okay. So write them all out. And then when you think you don't know, write out 5 more. Think you don't know, try to get 5 more until you're literally like, okay, if you paid me $1,000, I really couldn't write more out. And then maybe leave it there and come back the next day and see if any new beliefs come up. Ultimately, when you're done with that list, you're going to go through and ask, is this belief ultimately true? Is it the 100% ultimate truth? I want you to ask yourself that question for each and every single belief. The answer is going to be no. It's not the ultimate truth, because there is you cannot 100% prove that the belief that you're thinking is the ultimate truth. If you cannot, without a doubt, 100% prove that it is the ultimate universal truth, then it is fake. It's not true. It's false. Okay.
So like whatever I do, I can't lose weight. Whatever decisions I make in business, they fail.
Yes.
Like any of these types of things. Like every time I try something, it doesn't work out. Or like real estate just really isn't for me. Any of these little things like that.
Yes.
That's
because even if you're like,
that's the ultimate truth.
It's been true for me up until now, but it doesn't mean it's the ultimate truth. Okay. It does not mean it's the ultimate truth. So then when you figure out, okay, no, this is not the ultimate truth. Okay, great. So what would be true? What would I want to be true? If I knew I was supported, if I knew the universe had my back, if I knew God was on my side, if I knew I couldn't screw this up, what would be true? What would I want to be true? And then you just write out those beliefs.
So for each of those beliefs, change them.
Yes.
Change them. Make a more universal belief that is leaning into your future and higher self.
Believing the beliefs, keep them broad. Like, well, if anybody can do this, why not me?
That's a good one.
Right. And so keep them broad if you have a hard time believing. Okay. From there, you want to move out the stuckness. You want to move it out. Okay. So you're going to have to do something to move that energy. So you can connect with the energy. And this is where I would recommend doing some more somatic work, which we'll do in later calls. I'll actually walk you guys through exercises.
Somatic means with the body.
Means in the body, right? So a lot of the times, thanks, babe, we will try to outthink our feelings. You cannot think a feeling. A feeling is emotional. A thought is logical. You cannot out logic your emotions.
I've tried, guys.
Yeah,
it doesn't
he's really
work.
good at trying. So we have to then connect with the actual feeling. Okay, so then I would recommend this. So once you've got it written out and you've gotten your ultimate, okay, no, this is not the ultimate truth. Then you connect to that feeling. Where are you feeling the stuckness in your body? All right. Where is it at? Is it in your chest? Is it in your throat? Is it in your stomach? Is it in your shoulders? Where is it at? Identify it. If it wanted to be expressed, you can ask yourself this question. If this feeling wants to be expressed, how would it? How would it want to be expressed? You might get an urge to shake. You might get an urge to go for a walk. You might get an urge to just take some deep breaths. You might yawn. You might feel like sighing, like when we're frustrated. How many people go, oh, when you're frustrated? That's how he knows I'm frustrated. He's like, why are you breathing like that?
Uh-oh, time to run.
And so, because again, remember guys, we move energy through movement, through breath, and through sound. So you're going to get an inkling. This is a really good intuitive exercise too. So you're going to get an inkling to take a walk, to yell, to jump up and down, to go to the gym, to shake your limbs out. Because what we're doing is that stuck feeling is associated with your fight flight energy. The fight flight energy needs to move through the body. It wants to move through the body. So you could box. I know, John, you got your punching bag. So you could do that. So you could do different things. You might get an urge to do something specific. For me, it's different every time. Sometimes I'll roll around on the ground like I'm throwing a tantrum. Sometimes I'll grab my pillow and I'll have a pillow fight with my bed. I'll scream really loud. I'll punch things. I'll go for a run. I'll go work out. We'll do something outside. And it's just getting in that space to, if I knew that this energy wanted to be expressed, how would it want to be expressed? So then punching is a great one because we're literally like, we're really moving that energy, and you're using sound, you're using breath, and you're using movement as well. And so from there, sometimes I like to play some music, a little heavier music, and just go at it, right? And just have a ball, literally. Let yourself do something. The weirder it feels, the better it is going to be, the more somatic you are. So whether it's just you like getting in front of a punching bag and just punching your brains out, just whatever, great. If it's you just shaking, or if it's you going for a walk, or you're just, and you get like an urge to start like shaking out your legs, do it. Trust your body. From there, then you'll come back and then you can rewrite those new beliefs. Now that you've literally moved the energy from your body. You might also get a spontaneous emotional release if you're feeling stuck. Sometimes I know I want to cry when I feel stuck. Let yourself do it, you guys. We've ignored our feelings for so long. We just don't know how to express them. When in reality, all we need to do is learn how to express them, and then we stop feeling them and we move on from them. But we're just really good at repressing them because that's what we've been taught. So do that, and then come back, rewrite those new beliefs. And then from there, pick one. I'm just going to have you pick one and start looking for evidence of that belief in your reality. Also, how would that belief feel if it were true? Would you feel peace? Would you feel confidence? Would you feel excitement? Would you feel happiness? Would you feel freedom? For 30 seconds a day, I want you to focus on feeling that new feeling. All right, I'm literally giving you the recipe to change your life with this. It's a very simple, it sounds simple, but this can literally change your life. This is how I've grown my business. It's how I teach my clients how to heal stuff. I have clients that have been in therapy for 6, 7, 8 years. They've worked with me for 2 months. Their life has totally changed. Therapy never helped them. I did, because you have to be able to connect with your emotions and move that energy. Okay.
I'm glad she's sharing that with you people, because I just encourage her to share that with more and more people. I hear all these stories of just anecdotally that people are getting their lives changed, that they have tried to go through whatever before, not knowing the specifics of them, but that they've tried to go through things before. She works with them, and then all of a sudden, people are completely different. And I see so many people in the world who will have these problems and they'll say, yeah, I'm going through my therapy, I'm doing all these things, but yet they're still
not actually moving anything.
No, they still showcase their problems. Yeah, it almost is like it's just like a pool with more poop that's getting put right in there. And it's like, oh, now I'm swimming in poop. And so it's just a complete different shift that can happen. So those little exercises that she was just walking you guys through,
like, it will literally change.
Writing that at the top, feeling stuck, going through for 20 minutes, writing those things down, all those beliefs, going and getting that, working that out somatically through the body, whatever that can be, then coming back, shifting all of those beliefs that you had, writing new ones down, making it something that feels right towards you, and then getting in that space, feeling in that emotion of just one belief, and go 30 seconds a day. Start with one, but I think you're going to be addicted. You're going to be hooked with all of those feelings that you can have compared to those feelings that you did have.
Yeah.
And so wow. And then instantly you can feel just a little bit better through all of that. But yes, she helps tons of people out, my gosh, in every different limiting belief that we all have. You know, she's created a course and things around that.
And so I want you guys to take this, do this exercise. And then also the important part is though, yes, we want to create the new beliefs. Yes, we want to look for evidence, but we want to embody the emotion. So find music that helps you feel that way. Find people that help you feel that way. Celebrate yourself, guys. Like Zach was saying, when we learn how to walk, we learn how to crawl. You poop for the first time. You're celebrated. Right. But we just stop celebrating ourselves as we've grown up. So we have to learn how to celebrate ourselves, because energetically, this tells the universe, yes, please, more, please.
More, please.
Gratitude is the ultimate energy of reception. So if we want to receive more with ease, we feel more gratitude. We celebrate ourselves more. So do this exercise. Celebrate the crap out of yourself for doing this exercise. Go outside and stare at the sun and just feel so grateful for feeling it on your face, or feel the fresh air on your face, and then feel gratitude for that. And it's just bring this energy in. When in doubt, go to gratitude. If you don't know how you're going to feel when you have the thing, you know that you're going to feel grateful for it. And so just practice that feeling of celebration. You're going to have times where you go back to your default. It's normal. You're literally reprogramming how to be a human right now. And so when you do this though, you're going to have times that maybe don't stare at the sun. Don't stare at the sun. Just close your eyes, feel it on your face, feel so good. Or take yourself to the Maldives, right? In your mind. And so let yourself just go through these exercises and really just use your imagination. Your imagination is connected to your unconscious mind. Your unconscious mind is connected to your nervous system. You are going to reprogram this by doing these exercises, and release the time frame. Release the time frame, because things can shift in an instant. 2.5 years ago, I was extremely single, really wanting love. Now I'm engaged and pregnant with our baby. So it's just like things can shift in an instant. I lost 30 pounds in about 6 to 8 weeks. This was like 5 years ago, because I shifted my relationship with food and I shifted my relationship with my body. And so it's really about, and like I've had, every month this year has been more profitable than any other month I've had before. So it's like just trusting yourself. You can shift your energy so fast, and the universe will respond so fast. But it's just about you starting to look for that evidence, celebrating yourself, clearing out the old gunky stuff, and bringing in the new supportive stuff. You can do this. You are no different than anybody else who has a success that you want. You are no different than anybody else who has the body that you desire and the health that you desire. You are no different than anybody else who has the relationships that you want, that you are hopeful for.
And you're not alone in your concerns in the world. There is plenty other people. I was going to say there's someone out there that has those same type of concerns as you, but there's tons of people with exact same concerns as you. And just know that you are here right now. You are opening your mind to these other possibilities. They might not have that to them. So celebrate the fact that you see a path moving forward. There is lots of possibility in that, and you're capable. You're more than capable. You're obviously desirous. Anyone that's here, anyone that's listening, you are desirous. So you are much more set up for success than other people. So celebrate in that. And we celebrate things all the time. I mean, we've got gratitude we do in the morning.
Celebration jar.
We've got a little celebration jar for the year that we write things in and date them. Can't wait to see that at the end of the year. And even our own limiting mindset be like, wow, remember when we didn't think that this thing was going to happen right here? And now this thing already happened and it's already in the past.
So set yourself up for success, and also understand that you're worthy just because you are. Like there's not this pie in the sky or a chalkboard in the sky where God's like, oh, nope, Peggy didn't do this, so she doesn't get to have the success that she wants. Or Julie didn't do this, so nope, she's not making that money this year. There's nothing like that, but we create in our minds like, oh, I have to be this angelic person in order to have everything that I want. There are really shitty people that have more money than all of us combined.
Yeah.
So it's like, you don't have to be a great person to have what you want. You just have to believe that you can have it. And you can still have what you want, even on days that you don't feel great. So it's not all about being super high vibe. It's just about allowing yourself to have the emotional experience that you need to have without making it bad. And also believing that you're worthy, even if you're having a bad day, even if you freaked out on your partner, even if you yelled at one of your parents or kids, even if you didn't do what you said that you were going to do for the third day in a row, you're still worthy. But prove to yourself why you're worthy. But you don't need You don't need proof of why you're worthy. You just are, but we really like it. So let me show myself why I'm worthy, because I'm going to keep this commitment to myself. I'm going to listen to my desires. I'm going to follow my intuition. I'm going to figure things out in a way that makes sense and serve me and other people. I'm going to make money for the greater good of myself and others. And just because I freaking want it. I know there was a belief in here of I can't have what I really want. But like, why? Why can't you have what you really want? When did you learn that that was the truth? It's just, you can have what you really want. You just have to let yourself have what you really want. Because if we say, well, oh, I don't need it, I want it, that's survival energy. We want to thrive. We are programmed to want more. It's not a bad thing to want more. We're always going to want more, but what are you going to do with more? It's just going to make you more of you. Do you believe that you are someone that gets to be amplified? Do you believe that you are someone that gets to take up space? Do you believe that you are someone that gets to be able to influence other people in one way or another, even if it's just a person that you're walking down the street and you smile at them? That's an influence.
Yeah.
It's, can you see yourself as someone that is deserving of more? We're all deserving of more. We are all deserving of more. We know this because we're here. And as human beings, it's naturally embedded within us to want more. Therefore, we are worthy of it. But we've put all these stipulations around what needs to happen in order for us to have it. Nothing needs to happen. We just need to believe it and then take the action that is in alignment with those beliefs. We can't just sit on the couch and visualize it and think, oh, okay, this is going to happen because I'm energetically attracting it. No, we still have to take that aligned action. We've talked about that. And prevention mindset. You want to go into that, Julie, real quick? But it's allowing yourself to understand that you don't need to be anything. You don't need to act a certain way. You don't need to be perfect in order to have what you want. You get it just because you want it. And it's possible for you. Can you believe that you can have it? That's the big question. And if not, what are those crappy beliefs telling you that you can't? We got to clear those. We have to prove to ourselves those are not the ultimate truth.
And that's funny because it looks like the next 7 weeks, we're going to be talking about a little bit of energetic hygiene, energy clearing, some of those things, protecting your energy.
Oh yeah, preventing bad things. If I have money, I can pay for something if it happens. Of course you can, but you can also pay for things that you want. So so I can't have what I really want because I have to use money on bad things. So then you're in that perpetual state of fear. So there is some fear here, some underlying fear that wants to be cleared from your space. So we have to get rid of that. We have to clear out the fear of bad things are going to happen if I get money. The more money I have, the more bad things are going to happen because then I have money to pay for them. We have to clear that out. So where did you learn that that was a thing to be expected? Because that's not ultimate truth. Lots of people make money and it just sits in their bank account because there's nothing to spend the money on. Lots of people make more money than they can even fathom having because there's just nothing to spend the money on. It's just sitting there. So prove to yourself, look for examples, look for evidence that that's not the ultimate truth. And yeah, I want more money so that I can be prepared for when things happen. See how we can shift that so we don't have to say bad things happen. I can be prepared for when things happen. And I can also do whatever I want. And sometimes what I want will be to pay for new tires, to fix my car, to buy a new car, to fix the thing at the rental that needs to be addressed, that hasn't been addressed for 6 months. Yeah. So I want more money so I can do what I want with the money. And what I want with the money can be anything. Right? But we get to decide that. Okay. You get to decide. You are the ultimate decision maker. What's that thing that the judges hold?
Gavel.
You have the gavel. You decide. But we're just giving everybody else the gavel.
That's the biggest thing, really, is just getting control of our own mind, knowing that we can control our own mind. And then it's like, all right, well, what do we want to control it to do? And how do we do that? But more for me, it's who can do that. Done with how. This year is all about who. That's the word. So it's like, who can take me down that path? Who is the person that I can lean into?
Yeah, who can support you?
And it's supporting because, again, as much as I want to do it, I could sabotage myself in my downtime. But if I have somebody else or even multiple somebody else all around me, they're going to uplift me. I already have confidence. I might not even stumble as much because I'm like, all right, I can go and take this thing on because I have all these people that will support me. So look, guys, I don't even need your help. I'm doing so much better already. I'm instantly better. Just knowing, just living in the knowing that I have this support around.
Yeah.
Shows that I don't need it.
A really good affirmation that's coming up is I'm available for miracles and solutions. So it's just letting yourself be available for however good things want to come to you. You're open to it. I'm available for miracles and solutions. That's it. So just being open to it.
Heck
so
yeah, I'm available for that. That sounds great. I'll take one.
Because like just going back to like the money thing, like you could think you're going to make money in one way, but then you post something online, it goes viral. Someone reaches out to you, says, oh my gosh, I need to interview you. We pay this much for people that we interview. You get interviewed, it turns into a speaking gig. You get another speaking gig, so on and so forth. Like, you're like, whoa, I never thought this was going to happen. Like stuff like that happens. So we can't try to predict it. With our health, the more confident we feel in our body, the more we're going to take action that supports that confidence. So if you don't feel confident right now, it's just accepting, how do I feel? And if I wanted to feel better, how would I treat my body if I wasn't a partnership with it? And just seeing yourself from that lens of compassion and releasing that timetable, because that puts pressure on things. When we pressurize things, we unconsciously reject them. So we don't want to do that. But thank you, Erica. That was a nice message. I'm just reading it. But yes, so I know that we talked about a lot, but I think like the ultimate thing is just, where are your fears? Where are your fears? We have to call them out. We have to address them and call them out and show them for what they are, which is not true. Okay. And then we get to create new energy around the fears. And the fears are beliefs, but there's emotional energy in the body that is perpetuating the fear. So we want to move that out. We want to connect to the body and move that out. This also is telling you that you can trust yourself. So it will help you trust yourself and listen to your intuition. Stop judging yourself for past decisions. You did what you thought you had to do in that time frame. If Zach judged himself for decisions he'd make 15 years ago, he would never be in the position that he's in right now. So, and if he was dwelling on that, he would never be there. If I judged myself for decisions that I made, I'd go in a freaking mental institution, because I would drive myself crazy of all the crappy decisions that I've made throughout my life. So it's just about really being able to see yourself like, okay, I did what I thought was best back then. Now I know different based on the evidence that I've gathered and the lessons I've learned. How am I going to move forward? And trust yourself, guys. Believe in yourself. Look for evidence as to why it's safe to believe in yourself. And celebrate yourself, celebrate the small things, build that energy. Where are you building that momentum? We want to build that momentum in a direction that is supportive, right?
Love it.
Yeah. And believe you're worthy even on the bad days, because you are. You're here.
We
you're
all
here,
are.
and that's what matters.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. All right. Well, that feels good.
Yeah. All right. I know that we ran over, so we appreciate those of you that are still here, and we will see you next week. Next week, we're going to start talking about the energy body. It's so important because everything in our physical reality is the end result of what's going on energetically. So your physical body, end result of what's going on in your energy field. Emotions and beliefs are energy. Remember that. So the relationships that you have, end result of the energy field that you have around relationships, around money. So it's all connected. So we're going to start talking about the energy field next week, and I'm going to give you guys some energetic hygiene tips. This is one of my favorite things to talk about because it's so freaking important that nobody learns about.
You think that she was talking about all this stuff for the last 14 weeks, just off the cuff, and this is not what she's as excited to talk about as what next week will be. So yeah.
When we start taking care of our energy field, things change dramatically. Like they can change overnight. So I'm really excited to talk about that next week. So we will see you guys then.
Lots of love.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
See you next Thursday, same time, same place.
Have an awesome weekend. Great week, everyone. Take care and go be abundant. Give some love.